Good afternoon. So, in the next probably 45 minutes, I am going to share few of my thoughts how different enterprises are shaping up. Maybe I am wearing a hat of a business head in IT services company. So, with that role, so what I see, how the industry is progressing and how the enterprises are shaping up, whether it is manufacturing. There was a wonderful session, I think now the healthcare or retail or energy utilities, it doesn't matter, different verticals. So let me open my deck with very interesting statistics. Look at here. So what is happening in the world every 60 seconds, every 1 minute? Look at there. So there are 2 million searches happening every 1 minute, right? 20 million photo views are happening in Flickr, and 278,000 tweets are happening in Twitter. Amazon is making $83,000 business every 1 minute. Imagine, right? And 204 million emails are moving around, and 571 websites are getting created every 1 minute. So why it's happening? This is really amazing, right? 1 minute, what's happening in the world is really unimaginable. Maybe 5 years back or 10 years back, what happened was entirely different. But today, this is the fact of life. The second important slide I would like to share here. By 2020, maybe 50 billion things get connected to internet. The non-living things, like cars or machines or equipments or plants. Now only probably 5 billion or 2.5 to 5 billion things get connected. The things here are only mobile devices, most of the things, right? But by 2020, 50 billion, out of that only 10 billion is owned by the people. The remaining 40 billion are all non-living things. So I'll tell you why it is that, right? So the non-living things are getting connected to internet. That is another major disruption. First one, I talk about how the people are using this technological innovation and the hyper connectivism is happening. And the second one is many non-living things are getting connected to internet. So just to summarize, let us look at here some of the shifts, very interesting shifts here. So we have LTE, the long-term evolution. The telecom industry really moved probably from 1950s, 60s to now today. So what is the bandwidth available in 4G? Any guess? I have given there, but what is 5G, something people are estimating by 2020 or 2018? I think some of the people started career in 90s. What was the bandwidth available at that time? 64 kbps was the greatest thing. When I started my career in TCS, we used to say, wow, we used to sell to customer passionately, we have a 64 kbps line, right? And we have something redundancy and all. Look at here now, the wireless bandwidth availability today is at a minimum 40 megabytes per second. And maybe ideally, theoretically, it can go to 100 megabytes per second. Okay. More clarity. All right. I'm not a telecom expert, okay. Thank you for clarification. All right, the other important thing is I'm sure you all might have heard about IPv4, right? How many people heard about IPv4? Okay, how many addresses were there in IPv4? 4.3 billion addresses were there. That means if you want to connect to internet, you need to have IP address, right? For any device or a desktop or a laptop. So, but they're all exhausted. That's where the new thing called IPv6 emerged. You imagine how many addresses are available? 343 trillion addresses are available today. Literally, you can give IP address. Some of the people are saying that you can give IP address to a newly born child going forward. Somebody saying, right, in the previous session, they're putting something like a SIM card into the womb and then see what is the health of the baby, right? So there is no surprise. That means what? You can give IP address to almost all non-living things. 343 trillion addresses you can give means a car can get IP address. Even now itself, I think they are getting, right? A tree can get IP address. A plant can get address. This chair can get an IP address. Everything can get an IP address. That means what? It can connect to internet and it can tell what is my state because of the sensors and embedded software and so on and so forth. Of course, billions of people are getting connected to internet today, and social networks is really changing the game. You know that the sensors, when we started our career, probably sensors were very expensive, and also the size of the sensors were very big. But today the sensor sizes are going down, the cost is also going down, they are becoming more and more powerful. I see these are all the major disruptors happening, the external disruptors happening in this world. So that's where I would like to emphasize the fact that we have moved out of the people-to-people communication era. It's not just people-to-people, right? Last, I think, 30, 40 years, we have been talking about people-to-people communication, connectivity and all. Now it is beyond that. It is people-to-people, people-to-things, and things-to-things. Car can talk to a person. Car can talk to a car. Machine can talk to a person, right? A machine can talk to a machine, right? So machines, cars, or all these are non-living things. They become smarter and intelligent because of these technological innovations. So that's where I would like to summarize. We are living in hyper-connected world. So World Economic Forum has done some analysis out of 142 countries. Which country is hyper-connected? Can you guess which country is hyper-connected? Based on the adaptability of information and communication technologies in this country. So it's not just information technologies, also communication technologies, the mobile, social, analytics, cloud, all these things, right? And the government regulations, the support, the affordability, the usage of all these technologies in this country. So WEF has come up with some score for different countries. Which country you think is the #1 hyper-connected country? Huh? Finland. But I have a village road. What you can do? I cannot drive at the speed what I want. What is required here? It's not only just development, you need to test it faster, and also you need to be able to deploy into the production. If a Flickr is doing every day 10 times, everything is automated, right? So the Agile and DevOps combined methods are now, your new GDM, the global delivery model, has to embrace, not like a waterfall or iterative techniques which we used for many years. Now you need to get into Agile DevOps. In fact, in the maintenance and support engagements, most of the IT companies have that, right? Whether it is a product or an application. I think a new method is emerging called a Scrum Ban. Okay? So just a message here is how you embrace the new methods, new skills, new psychological behavior, right? As a project manager, product development manager, there is a paradigm shift required, and the GDM has to really get updated. Okay, few case studies, I'll conclude. So another probably 5 minutes. Okay, this is one case study what we did. We believe there are 7 technologies going to change the game, which we call, of course, NMAX, Tech Mahindra. Networks, mobility, analytics, cloud, security, social computing, and sensors. These 7 technologies we call digital technologies. So we got some case studies like, so if you look at all these technologies, don't you think the integration is the biggest challenge? Just with one technology platform itself, we struggle a lot. When I say that you have social, mobile, analytics, cloud, networks, so that's one engagement we got from one of the biggest customers in US. How do you build that platform for them? Integrate those platforms. They want to sell it as a product to the customers. We jointly go along with them and sell to other customers. That is also sell with strategy. Make sense? So you need to have a different platforms now to build the new age applications and different infrastructure also. This is another interesting thing. There is something, you know, that pacemakers and all, such type of devices are there when put it in the heart or somewhere. Like I think in the past, the previous presenter also talked about, there is one engagement we did, even procuring those devices, testing them before putting into the patients, and they have the sensors and chips, and through mobile, the doctors can really access the information, what is the health of the heart, and they can take the necessary corrective actions and preventive actions. This is another solution what we implemented. So the left side, if you look at what all the technologies we used, that's where I'm emphasizing the fact these solutions cannot be implemented with one technology. These solutions can only be implemented with convergence of technologies. The innovation is in the intersections. Okay, this is another thing. There is a media house. This is a TV company. They have, for example, 12 stadiums at a time. If any sports happening, the streaming of data happens to this media house, right? So now what they did, they want to stream the data not only to the TVs, it also to the tablets, right? And design the analytics on the top of, you see now any cricket, you see that there is so many dashboards comes on the TV, right? That is analytics, right? Okay, this guy played like this guy played like this, and they do replay and all this is analytics, right? So they want to have analytics for the sports, what played in the different stadiums, and also they want to have the online on demand. For example, if somebody is not able to do that, I can see it in my tablet or a phone on demand, that particular sport or a game, and I can also have the analytics what is required. This is also a very complex engagement. The total, look at now, the 12 stadiums sending the data streaming, what is the network really needs to be relooked at, right? And how the data is coming, and then mobile access is there, and you have analytics and all. So again, the convergence of technology is huge there. Okay, this I don't need to sell. This is something like we retrofitted it. How many people heard about 108? 108? Come on, friends, you don't know that? EMRI, how many people heard about? Surprising. Right. How many people heard about 911 in US? Huh? Okay, good. You know better than. Okay, that is an emergency. If you have any emergency, there are 12 states in India covered with that 108 number. A new ambulance are designed with complete. So even today, McKinsey said, whatever 108 system we built in India, 2006 we started. Of course, I came from Satyam to Mahindra, Satyam to Tech Mahindra now, right? We all came from Satyam Computers. Satyam started this EMRI, okay, with the state government of Andhra Pradesh. What is that? 108 is the number. So they have set some interesting things. All these technologies are used. I am not getting into technologies. You already understood. Within 2 rings, you have to lift the phone. Is the KRA. If somebody calls that there is some accident happened somewhere, and the help desk guy has to lift the phone within 2 weeks. That means they put a very good telecommunications mechanism there. Within 15 minutes, the ambulance has to go to the emergency location. And they also established the connect with so many hospitals. So the ambulance can go to any hospital, so that immediately, that is really a game changer happened in India, in Andhra Pradesh. After that, it got expanded to, I think, 12 states in India. I'm not sure whether they're in Delhi or not. So 500 million people are covered for the emergency management today. And then I think 500,000 people lives got saved. The passion, the energy behind this is how many lives you save. This is a golden hour. When accident happened, the first 1 hour is the golden hour. If the emergency ambulance is not gone there and they are not attended, they will die, right? So this is the system which will help. The technology is very well utilized. So how to make sure that the ambulances design are connecting to the doctors. For example, if immediately the patient is put into the ambulance, the message goes to wireless communication to the doctors or the somebody who is basically you are going to the hospital, they are ready to attend this patient. I'm not going into the detail. So this is now covered in 12 states. I think 500 million people are covered in India. This is exactly again a digital emergency. A lot of different technologies and convergence of technologies are used. All right, so summary. We are living in a hyper-connected world. How many people agree? People to people things, things to things. Gone the era of people to people. So then we need digital apps. They are mobile social analytics, mobile analytics. They have to run on the cloud. They have to support structured, unstructured, semi-structured data. They have to run on different types of networks like wired or wireless or machine-to-machine networks, so on and so forth. So we are moving from applications economy to apps economy. Very specific. In hours, in weeks, in days, I have to build them. I have to test them. I have to deploy them. Gone the days of I will do it after 3 months and 6 months and all. The speed at which you develop, test, and deploy is entirely different. I call that as an apps economy. You need new roles, new skills, new behaviors. And then you need to adopt different project management and software engineering techniques. It's not just technology. A complete paradigm shift is required the way we manage the projects, right? So that's where Agile, DevOps, or Scrum Man is there. So I fundamentally believe, any forum I go, I'm telling, the global delivery model, which is 30 years old, is old. 30 years is too old in the IT industry, right? It is already probably like 100 years age grandfather. So we need to design youthful GDM, a global delivery model, which embrace this apps economy. So let me summarize. Digital enterprises, hyper-connected world, apps economy. I think we need to really look at how India can again become the leader in this IT space. Thank you so much.